These are the stories
There is a foundation out there that helps you get back into it.
of organizations making a difference
What really limits our ability to do something is people's imagination.
and empowering others across Canada.
When I get into that sledge, I'm free, man. I'm playing hockey.
It's a great organization and it's worth supporting.
In our community.
Gunfire rings out in two Metro Vancouver cities this afternoon for the past couple of hours after a shooting in broad daylight that left one man with serious injuries.
Leo Samarelli was a national boxing champion who had it all taken away when he was gunned down.
Leo Samarelli!
At the time, Samarelli was just 22 years old and a national boxing champion.
My name is Leo Samarelli. I'm the head coach at West Coast Wheelchair Adaptive Boxing. I got to train and spar with the current world champion, Vasily Lomachenko. And I just had an amazing time. And that's where I won the Golden Gloves, I won the provincials, and then I moved on to win the nationals. I came back up here and my dad, he had an unexpected heart attack. It really tore me apart. A year after or something like that, my dad passed away. That's when I was shot. I was paralyzed. I was shot 4 times, and that led to me to have like a spinal cord injury, T8 complete injury. It comes down to who has the superior ringsmanship, the IQ, all these little sorts of things, who's able to adapt. That's the biggest thing, is being able to adapt to your opponent's technique or his style or his attack and defense. That's what boxing's all about. We're here at Rain City Boxing in Vancouver. This is where we train. This is where we train the boys here. And today we're going to be doing some wheelchair boxing. Well, all these guys, they're usually they're athletes, right? They come from all different kind of backgrounds and also level of disability as well. We got Daryl Yoon here, and then we got Paul Finkbeiner, and we got a couple other guys that are missing, but they're usually here. Very good breathing, Daryl. Good, very good. Right, good. 1, 2, block right, add the left hook. Wheelchair adaptive boxing is basically boxing in a sports chair, a different kind of chair, not our everyday chair, but a more agile chair, and we're able to keep the balance in that way and do other movements and angles and really stay balanced. We got Paul Finkbeiner here. He's going to do the bow ropes. Right now he's just in a lock in his wheels there just because the sports chairs don't have locks. This is basically going to build up some hand speed. He's going to get a nice pump in his arms again. He's going to build up the speed kind of. He's a little bit higher on his injury level. So he's really using his neck, and he's using everything to really stay on balance. We started to just develop ways of punching where I could keep it on balance, and different styles of technique and defense to really just kind of adapt it to to my skills, to my arsenal. Just developing new ways to do things, right? Get in positions and to slipping and just the whole technical aspect. It just needed to be kind of reformed. I loved skipping beforehand. Like, skipping was part of every workout, part of every warm-up I did as an able-bodied, and I just wanted to find a way to skip, really, a way to get just a different kind of warm-up, right? Just a new movement. So I made these ropes, actually. It's a jump rope cut in half, and those handles there are also weighted, so you get the same concept of the skipping rope as it hits the ground, right? And then you can do like little crosses, just like a skipping rope. You can do kind of cool tricks like that. Also, you can go, back, you can go forward, So we're just trying to adapt it everyone. Everyone's going to do it a little bit of their own way, kind of thing. So, living with a disability, we all had to adapt, our ways of living, and just doing everything in life. The art of boxing is staying ahead of your opponent, is really adapting to the situation, different styles. That's why they call it sweet science. You know, boxing is a chess game. Like a traditional boxing match, ding 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 ding, bell rings, we come out, you know, then we kind of initiate. We have to really find the angle where we can hit him and he can't hit us, right? Because in wheelchair boxing, we gotta fight for the positioning, you know. Able body boxing, before I could use my legs, kind of move around, but now I'm restricted to moving with my arms and my hands down. And so you're worrying about being open and using your you know, superior angles to really fight your opponent off and fight for each other's angle, right? Who has the better positioning? Where can I hit him and he can't hit me? So that's what we're trying to fight for. Because in normal boxing, you know, you turn the hip, you develop that power. Wheelchair boxing, you're kind of limited to like a power range. So I would find it difficult to find someone getting knocked out. I'd suspect that wheelchair boxing would be more like fencing, where you bang, you hit him, and then there you got a point kind of thing, and then you're kind of a ring generalmanship, and you're kind of fighting for a superior position and stuff like that, and making it difficult for the other opponent to do points off you. What's on the line for me is really that we deliver to everyone who thinks that, oh, this is a couple of guys in wheelchairs punching each other. The biggest hurdle is to display the boxing and how we adapt it. I think it's at its infancy, but we're fighting to put wheelchair adaptive boxing on the map, and with the help of the fighters in the class, we're going to show what adaptive boxing is all about. Time.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
First thing I hear when Paul comes in is, let's fight. That's what we kind of need in this class. We need that fire. We need someone who, you know, wants to come in and just, you know, come in here and basically box. After going through what we're going through, you know, with people with disabilities, it's kind of tough getting that anger out or getting that frustration out.
My name is Paul Finkbeiner. I'm an adaptive wheelchair boxer. I like punching stuff, and people have always said, you know, you need to punch something. So I was injured in 2007, and I was basically hit by a drunk driver, and some scientists sort of saved me, put me back together. It's a little challenge of their own there, saved me. I think they gave me a 2% chance to live. Like, that's what they told my parents. They knocked on my parents' door and said that I was gonna die and to come say goodbye to me. And then I kind of like survived a week, and they're like, he probably won't live through, you know, much longer. And they did, and basically I just remember ICU, or like just this tube in my mouth and machines helping me breathe and constantly drowning. I remember the sensation of drowning. My recovery has been an up and down sort of thing for the past 12 years. So the graph can scale up, but it's always going to be kind of a wave of up and down, I think, and learning new things and stuff like that. Outside of boxing, I do para-Nordic sit skiing. That's how I met Daryl and Leo, and cycling, swimming, ping pong, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, we're at Creekside Community Center playing ping pong. It's a nice day out. Yeah, we're here to play some ping pong, basically. I had a date last night. Excellent. Excellent. I might ask her to marry me.
It's good to do things you're not comfortable with. That's how you grow, is you do things you're not comfortable doing. And I'm someone who kind of enjoys conflict, and I create conflict. Not everybody understands that, but I feel like, you know, similar age group males understand that.
If I lose the match, it's the intimidation factor.
All right. Haven't seen so many sports chairs in here before. Here we're at Rain City Boxing in Vancouver. We have 8 guys here. We're running the class. We're gonna do some technique and work the parry jab and some wheelchair skills as well. Mitch, get inside. Use that jab against Daryl. Use your distance. Don't reach straight. Good. Again. Good, Mitch. I like that power too. When you see it. Double jab. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Good job, Mitch.
I'm Mitchell Garrett, and I am an adaptive wheelchair boxer. Through hockey, before my accident, goaltending taught me a lot, and it really kept my head on straight that you can have a bad goal and you can still push through that. You know, the game isn't done until the final buzzer, so you give it all until then. When I had my accident, it felt like a bad goal. July 29th, 2017, I was out camping with my buddies, and I took the ATV out for a spin, and I didn't bring the ATV back. My buddies had to send out a search warrant for me, and they found me next to the ATV in a ditch. Yeah, it was just all a blur. I was airlifted to VGH hospital, and from then on out, I've been using a wheelchair. It's just very weird going from a state where independence was something I grew up with to retracting on that a little bit, using a wheelchair, having to ask for help. I want to regain my independence.
One of my wheels is dead. I had to wear one of the sports chair wheels in here.
So, when you first tell someone about adaptive wheelchair boxing, it doesn't sound real. Everybody tells me I couldn't even imagine wheelchair boxing. I never even thought about it. Adaptive wheelchair boxing is the same as regular boxing. Yeah, it's just at a different height, and the movement in the wheelchair is very difficult. You know, making sure that your hands are up and you're still mobile and moving around, getting into the right position. I've noticed that my transfers and just moving outside of my chair, I'm much more mobile, and yeah, I'm just stronger. At hockey, I used to struggle getting in and out of my chair, in and out of my sled, getting dressed, and it seems like everything's just kind of taken full circle as I started boxing, where I'm doing everything independently, getting in my sled independently, getting back in my chair independently. I think I'm just more confident in everyday life. I know I can do it, and I know that I'm capable of doing the same things that I was before. It's definitely a different dynamic after you box with someone compared to like playing on the same team with someone. I don't think you can say the same about wheelchair basketball or even para hockey or many other sports, just because the wheelchair changes such a large aspect of the game. And boxing is still your hands. You're still throwing punches and taking them. You know, you might have to use a little bit more reach, but at the end of the day, there's not much different.
Your job dead inside, Mitch. From outside of the net. Let's go. Hi.
It was last week, Daryl and I were sparring for the first time, and I definitely saw the demon be brought out of him. Not just this funny guy anymore, but he gave me devil eyes and definitely intimidated me a little bit, but that's what I need when I'm sparring with someone, so it was good to see. Like I gave him a good face shot, And when he came back at me, I could just see the fire burning. So it was a new man that I saw, to be honest.
Time.
Our community will return after the break. We now return to our community.
My name is Daryl Yin. I'm an adaptive wheelchair boxer. So my entry level is I've had a tumor when I was young, like the age of 1. From what I understand, they took it out, but they didn't clean it, and then it grew back the following year. And then when they took it out the second time, that's when they accidentally hit my nerve, and that's how I'm paralyzed now. If my parents thought I was in boxing, they would think, oh yeah, good for you. Yeah. Yeah, but I really haven't told them about my sports activities and stuff. Yeah. In my household, we never grew up with sports, I guess. And they don't really understand the whole sports aspect of the thing. It's more school still, and academics. Other sports I play, I dabble in all sports. I do wheelchair athletics, so track and field. I do like discus, javelin, and shot put. Today I'm at the Richmond Olympic Oval, and I'm here training for discus. For discus, I would twist my body and use that momentum to throw like a 1 kilogram disc as far as I can. Ties to discus in boxing, you would engage your core a lot, and depending on your fighting style or what kind of move you're trying to use on boxing, it helps. Like, I'm told I have a really good hook, and I'm guessing that's from discus.
1, 2, hook. Good stuff. Good stuff, Daryl. Today we got Daryl Yoon weighing at, no, I'm just joking, not gonna say any weight, but he's lost a lot of weight. Let's go 1, 2. 1, 2, hook. Let's go
so before I started boxing, I guess, I would weigh close to 190, and now I'm like 160. Outside the physical, you get a great community out of it. Like, we don't know where we're going. We're still learning and adapting for that. My goal out of this boxing class is to build something from it, make a class for everyone. Hopefully people can come and join, and hopefully eventually teach the class.
Good, man. Don't forget.
The wheelchair community around here is very big, and there's a lot of people. But I find that when you get in the gym with someone, you see a different side of them. I just want people to know that that this is an up-and-coming sport, and there's definitely room to grow, a lot of room to grow in the sport, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it.
Let's go, Paul.
Yeah, there's a community aspect to the boxing class. Like everyone at the gym is super respectful environment, and everyone supports each other, and it's just, you know, I think some of the guys who see us come in there are inspired, and when you can be disciplined at the gym for 30, 60, 90 minutes, like, you can take that into your life.
One of the goals I get out of this program is giving back to the community that helped me out, number one, and also helping out, you know, like-minded guys who are going through the same thing as I am. Some of their lives are changing from this program. Whether it's the small things, whether, you know, they get in better shape, or they lose the weight that they want to lose, or they have the confidence of doing something that they never did, that they never had before.
Paul, I got you here. Reposition.
You can do all levels of boxing, and my 80-year-old grandmother can do boxing. It's a bunch of brothers. It's a camaraderie. Like, we're just trying to teach each other, you know, new skills. It's a fun workout.
All right, let's go, Daryl.
Boxing is important for people with disabilities because it lets them do something that they really think they can't do. Boxing's like a metaphor for life. Like, you gotta take hits, you take hits, you gotta give hits. It's like a give and take, right?
Let's go, Nation
I feel like we're pioneers. We're pioneers of the sport. We're pushing a new agenda. No one knows about adaptive boxing, and no one would even think about it. And now that that conversation has been had, we're bridging a gap between people who are living using a wheelchair, living with a disability, versus everyday people just going around. And that conversation is very valuable.
Block that. I like that shoulder roll. Let's go, Paul.
People might get intimidated when they hear boxing and fighting, and there's some jokes and stigma around it, but it's really just a training CrossFit class. And at the end of it, if you want, you can have the opportunity to maybe punch someone in the face or just watch.
To even get in the gym and to spar, to move around with everyone is a liberating experience. There's not one time where it crossed my mind, wow, I'm in a wheelchair doing it. You know, we're all together. We're having fun out there, and you know that doesn't cross my mind once. Is that we're in a wheelchair. We have a disability. You know, we're all boxing. We're all having a great time, and yeah, laughs at the end of the day.
You know, I imagine Leo seeing part of his dream come true. He's worked hard before his accident to get where he was. He has worked hard since his accident to get where he is right now. Like, you know, he might put a game face on and keep a very, very straight face, but there's no way that he isn't smiling deep down inside and excited for everything that's coming up.
Producer Priyanka Desai, Director Danny Barish, Director of Photography Ryan Ma, Editor Danny Barish, Camera Operator and Sound Ryan Ma, Narrator Jim Van Horn, Production Coordinator Priyanka Desai, Colorist James Stevenson, Integrated Describe Video Specialist Simone Cupid. Special thanks Rain City Boxing and Fitness, Richmond Olympic Oval, Creekside Community Center, Graphics Andrew Antonello, Regional Content Specialist Sylvie Fiquette, Coordinating Producer Jennifer Johnson, Consulting Producer Colette Vosbert, Director of Production Karen Nye, Director of Programming Brian Perdue, VP Programming and Production John Melville, President and CEO David Arrington. Produced with the participation of Canada Media Fund. Copyright 2020 Accessible Media Inc.